Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. You know what? It's such an interesting world in South Africa. It's actually very depressing when you look at the reasoning of the person being interviewed here about the non-payment of electricity bills at Soweto. And this follows the comments by Cyril Hippo Eyes Ramaphosa, who is demanding that unpaid bills are paid. And the L factor comes into play here when this guy being interviewed tries to explain why Soweto residents should not have to pay more than 100 Rand per month, regardless of their usage of electricity. And the best he can do in his argument is that, look, 100 Rand is better than no money at all, because we're not paying. But enjoy, because I think you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates, and have a great evening. Bye for now.
On to this now. President Cyril Ramaphosa says the days of electricity boycotts are over. He's urging everyone to pay for the electricity they use. Soweto has a 17 billion Rand bill, while Escom has a debt of 400 billion Rand. Well, to discuss this further, we're joined by Soweto Action Committee's chairperson, that's Pitso Munyela. Mr. Munyela, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, thank you.
Are you going to encourage the 1.3 million residents of Soweto to start paying up towards that 17 billion Rand bill?
Yes, we never had a problem of paying. The thing is that we want to pay the electricity that we can afford, like paying 100 Rand monthly flat rate is what we can afford.
How much is the flat rate?
100 Rand.
That you want to pay?
100 Rand.
But other people say that's completely unfair, because if you use electricity worth 200 Rands, why not pay 200 Rands for the electricity usage that you've used?
The fact is that those people are not actually understanding our circumstances, because internship has been generated by the most people who are unemployed. So we are saying that because we are staying there, we know how the people are living in Soweto, the high rate of unemployment. That's why we're saying it is better if we pay flat rate, which is 100 Rand, which is, I believe that is better than not getting anything.
Mr. Munyela, some have said, in particular Escom, they've said if affordability is an issue, then prepaid meters are the solution, because in that way you're able to manage your electricity usage. Are you receptive to electricity meters, prepaid meters being installed in the homes?
We are using the prepaid, but it's succumbing the life of the people. And we believe that that is the system of the capitalist, which they are bringing the life or the history, which they are bringing it using the back door to steal from the poor. Because let's say you buy electricity with 100 Rands, then you get 67 units. Then before the sunset, then it's done. You don't have electricity. It's what we're experiencing in Soweto. It's practical.
And so that's the reason you won't allow for electricity meters to be installed, prepaid meters.
Exactly. Because first of all, I think Escom, before they can come and install, they must engage with the community. They must not come and suppress the community with the prepaid without understanding the issue of the community. What the community are saying, what mechanism can we use actually to reach the until we find a common ground about paying electricity. Not to say people of Soweto don't want to pay electricity, but the poverty line and the way we're experiencing things in Soweto, really it's ridiculous to pay such amount or to use prepaid, because we are using it and it's a nonsense thing.
How then will the community, and in particular the committee that you run, how will you respond when Escom comes around? It's winter time now. They come around and they're saying they're shutting down because you simply are not meeting the obligations on your side.
Yeah, automatically there's only way to speak with the government, because when we want to engage, especially we've met Escom several times and saying that they will report to NERSA. And surprisingly, there is no office of NERSA in Soweto where we can go and lay our complaint. So you have to travel, you must move out of Soweto, go whatever the office is situated.
Has Soweto never come, has Escom never come to Soweto? Escom representatives, have they never come to Soweto?
No, they came, but when they came, they are telling us, you like it or not, then we are going to use, this prepaid electricity. And they're ambushing the people. If you disagree, they switch off the lights, which is taking us back. They're terrorizing the community, actually, because there was a loss of life whereby they took electricity for 3 weeks, and there are elders who are using support machine to survive, and so on. But they don't care about that.
Mr. Manyela, this decision not to pay electricity, it's a historical issue. Where does it come from? Who made this decision?
I think is the ruling party when coming into power, because I believe that during the bygone, the system, the strategy were used actually to say you must not pay the services to collapse the injustice government. So after we took over the government, after ANC took over the government, they did not come back to the people that this is a new administration, this is a new thing. Even people to understand what is democracy, what it's all about, what actually to do to move forward. So that thing's still in the hands of the ruling party.
But Mr. Manyela, President Mandela, whatever is alleged that he would have said back in 1994, times have moved. We are now 25 years down the line into the new democracy. We have a new president who happens to, by the way, be your neighbor in Shawela. He says those days of boycotting payment are over and it's time for you to pay. How do you respond to your fellow neighbor?
Maybe it's going to be, let's say, 76 times 76, I don't know. Because we'll go back to the street. We are the voters. He must listen to us. When campaigning, and to me it was contradictions, because when actually listened to him, he was talking about the high rate of unemployment. But when coming to electricity, people must pay using that prepaid.
But did he say anything when he was campaigning in Soweto? Did he say anything about not paying electricity or Soweto residents being exempted from paying electricity?
No, the fact is that the point is that we never said we don't want to pay. We want to pay the electricity that we can afford, which is flat rate 100 rand. That is our standing point. When they campaign, always they campaign, they will agree, because campaign is a campaign. After all, then they'll change the tune, because we gave them power. So we'll go back to the street and do what we have to do, because the only way in this government to listen to you, to consider your points, is to go back to the street.
Final question to you, Mr. Manyela. There's no question about the issue of affordability. Everyone is experiencing difficult times at the moment. But if a person living in a rural community somewhere in the Eastern Cape, in Limpopo, is able to pay for what they use, how is it fair that a Soweto resident who lives in a township near the city is not paying for what they're using?
I'm still going back that we want to pay, but we want to pay what we afford. If you can look the percentage that are using, or perhaps how they calculate it. I'm from Polokwane, but if you buy electricity of 100 rand, it can last you 3 weeks.
In Polokwane?
Yeah, in Polokwane.
You know that for a fact?
Yeah, I'm from Polokwane. Do you get what I'm saying? So in Soweto, I think because it's a metro or whatever, they think people of Soweto, they've got money. So that is a perception. But the fact is that I'm a citizen of Soweto. I understand life in Soweto, and I understand the experience that is happening in Soweto.
So what should happen then to the 17 billion rand that Soweto residents owe?
I think it's a myth. That is my opinion.
No, it's not a myth, Mr.
You know why I'm saying it's a myth?
Escom says it's there. It's a debt that's there.
Maybe if they can question, Escom, they looted a lot of millions, billions in Escom. And when you talk about, actually, if we owe money, there was administration during that time of owing money from Escom. There were no any, if they put the record on the table that the people of Soweto were engaged when having this, you cannot see the installment or perhaps the piling up, but not intervening. Suddenly you come with a big number, you say, no, the people of Soweto are owning so much. Put the record on the table. Show us that, no, have you ever actually meet with the leadership of Soweto or all forums of people of Soweto, because to give them or discuss the piling up of the money that they own.
Mr. Pitso Munyela, thank you very much for making the time to speak to us. He is from the Soweto Action Committee, and they're very clear that they're not going to pay the 17 billion rand.